Hello everyone and welcome to my news talk show. This is the end of 2020 and I guess many of you are not in a great mood. Well, same here. It's very simple. The US government wants to give you each $600. Well, wait, maybe it's $2,000? But what they have tabled and voted on was $600. That's perhaps $3 a day for your trouble for the last 8 months during the lockdowns, and your government wants to get you a Starbucks latte every weekday for your trouble. Great. As you all know, the top legislator in this country, with its high and mighty people in collusion, has passed the most shameful relief bill in history. The most shameless, the most deceitful, the fastest, the darkest, the most disgusting bill in history. The entire bill is a bloated 5,600 pages long. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 3 volumes of The Lord of the Rings coming in at 1,137 pages. This sanitary napkin of a bill is more than 5 times that. Awesome! It took Tolkien more than 10 years to finish writing the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But these legislators have created a Lord of the Rings trilogy times 5. Amazing. Moreover, when this large bill was presented to the members of Congress, they were given only 6 hours to study it. And then it was voted and passed on. Oh, these legislators, they're gifted people.
What are you doing?
Not only were they given just 6 hours, what's more sinister is that the voting time was set at 1 in the morning. December 22nd, 1 a.m., the Capitol is lit up and all these bigwigs with all the power in their hands, the nation's highest body, the Congress, are all fighting a nightly battle to destroy the fabric of the country. Look how hard we work in the middle of the night for the welfare of the people. In the middle of the night, we are not in the mood. We are sleepy, we don't bother to look into this bill, and we don't want to uncover its cunning nature. Come on, vote yes and pass it. I want to go back to bed. I'm exhausted. Such an important bill involving $2.3 trillion. This is your money. Nearly 5,600 pages and only a few hours to read it, and there's no debate at all. It's just pass. This is more effective than a communist Chinese plenum. Let's have a look. If this bill is really good for the people of the country, then so be it. But this bill hides so many of the wicked things that we've never seen in history. Under the guise of release for a pandemic, it is the most scandalous way for people to enrich themselves. And the people involved, believe me. Let me tell you a few examples of what you can see inside this bill. Here are a few museums and associations that basically no one goes to. Certainly not now. Okay, the Smithsonian Museum, $1 billion. The National Endowment of the Arts and Humanities got $167 million. The Wilson Center, $14 million. These places, I guess, people have heard of these? Some of these organizations are related to special entities, and the money will go to the pockets of the stakeholders through these entities. What's even more shameful is the vast majority of the $2.3 trillion is going to be used in a way that has nothing to do with pandemic relief to everyday Americans and small businesses. Let's see. Egypt will be given $1.3 billion. For what? To repair the pyramids? Are we going to build another pyramid? $700 million for Sudan, with arguably the worst human rights record ever? Let's give $453 million to Ukraine. Well, the Biden family. I'm sure that'll go well with Putin. That's easy enough. Other countries include Nepal, $130 million, Myanmar, $135 million, Cambodia, $85.5 million. As for why to give such a large amount of money, who knows? We don't have the time for that. And who is handing out such a large amount of money? And who can make a big profit from it? Who cares? Just sign the bill and go home. I'm done. I just want to go home. It's 1 in the morning. Then there is a $10 million funding for gender studies in Pakistan. Hasn't Obama already developed the 4 genders? And why Pakistan? And are the people from their country any different from other nationalities in terms of gender? Even if they have 4 genders, what does this have to do with COVID in the US? If you want to put your CIA black budget stuff in here, why name it something as politically and socially radioactive as this? Gender studies, really? Not a good move, Congress. In addition to the outrageous content of this bill, what is even more annoying is that each and every real US citizen can only get a mere $600. And not everyone has access to it, and those who earn more than a set limit won't qualify. But hey, if you're an illegal immigrant, congratulations! You just won the US Congress lottery. You get $1,800. Don't you want to kick someone? Also, in this bill, the greedy politicians gave themselves $5,700 in wages. What? Alex Jones moment. Okay. Only $600 for each citizen and an over 30% wage increase for themselves. That's what the Congress that we voted for in a democracy put into place. Also in the bill, a very backward and inconspicuous place, there's a sneaky addition. The presidential power to initiate the counterinsurgency bill is removed. In the future, if the president wants to send U.S. troops on native soil to quell, say, an Antifa riot, he must go through Congress. It's aimed at who exactly? These dirty career politicians in the Washington swamp have spent their lives playing with nothing but money and power, and their brains no longer function as normal human beings. For years, they've been slipping in a lot of lucrative and cleverly named provisions into state spending bills, and they get it passed every time. I'm packing my bags for Canada. So, let's talk about this cunning old turtle named Mitch McConnell, who recently congratulated hypocrite President-elect Joe Biden on his Electoral College victory. I'm not surprised, rather. I was wondering why he hadn't made a stand earlier. I've been saying for a long time that McConnell looks like the kind of politician who doesn't really take a stand, but only really cares about himself and profits. Of course, he was relatively cooperative with Trump in the Senate for the previous 4 years. So I was wondering, how is it possible that Trump and McConnell have been able to see eye to eye when he's clearly been pulled into the Washington swamp with the toads, right? Now I understand. We still remember our friend, the senior undercover Professor D. Dong Sheng, right? Didn't he also say that we have someone above us? Who is it? It's a big one. It's a big fish or a turtle. It's a Republican. Maybe it's McConnell. It's hilarious to think about. But it's been rumored that this swamp turtle had informed the party, Comrade Biden has been confirmed as the wise leader of the United States of America, and so we should stop messing around and listen to my orders. We will all closely be united to Comrade Xi. Unite with Biden and let's take this road to utopia, to the end. The family of his wife, Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao, whose father is an alumnus of Chinese dictator Jiang Zemin, has been a frontman for Jiang Zemin's forces for a long time. The family has been in the shipping business, and Zhao has been using her contacts in China and the United States for years to broaden the financial path to her family's shipping company, Fumo Shipping. During the Bush era, Zhao's family began to act as the broker between the top echelons of the Chinese Communist Party and the upper echelons of the US, traveling frequently between the two countries and actively making contacts. In return, of course, the Jiang family gave Chao lucrative family profits. The following is a video circulating on the internet of Elaine Chao and Vice President of China, Wang Xichan, exchanging words at a dinner party. These two people look like they're not wanting to be seen talking together in public. Maybe they have something they want to hide. Wang Xichen, once the mayor of Beijing, was the leader of Xi's own internal coup of the CCP's divisive factions. And this is a very serious Putin-like guy within the political realm of the party. He earned the vice president title by locking up some powerful figures in the political factions against Xi at the beginning of his term. People with deep ties to the previous leaders in the bloody history of the internal struggles within the Communist Party. I can't help but feel like this is the treacherous hyena in the animated film The Lion King, giving bad ideas to Scar. Western countries have been shouting about freedom, democracy, human rights, and rule of law, while the East looks on to those who help them undermine it out of greed. But what have they done in the face of Chinese communist tyranny? The Chinese Communist Party has suppressed and slaughtered Falun Gong practitioners on a large scale and even harvested their organs alive. This was detailed and reported back in 2006, and the actions are more brutal than any regime in history. But what have they done? Over their political ties, they remain silent? Not even a public condemnation from the Republican leader whose spouse's family ties go straight back to the very person who orchestrated this horrendous religious persecution? And privately, for financial gain, for votes, for money, these people are in cahoots with the Chinese Communist Party, from the Biden family to other key figures in the US political strata, whether it be politicians, judges, big media, who to this day keeps the CCP safe from having their dirty secrets and human rights violations exposed either in Xinjiang or in the mainland, while these things are kept under a tight lock and key. So we have touched upon this terrible bill and these corrupted politicians who have pushed through it into Congress, including our swamp turtle, McConnell, and his family ties. I think the topics we covered today bring us to a conclusion, my friends. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Take care.